People, we have been misinformed about luck. I used to think that luck was something that happened to us, or something that we just have to take as it comes. There's nothing we can do about it. That is, until I came across this study by the professor Richard Wiseman. Now, in this study, the test subjects were invited to check out a newsprint. So, within the newsprint, they were supposed to count the number of ads within it. And so they did, they counted. And when they got the number, they handed it in to the researcher and they received their reward. They went away happy. But there were those who looked at the print and they said, hang on, there's this line here. If you find this line and you hand it in to the researcher, you can end this study early and you get a bigger reward. Nice. Okay, so they handed that in and they got a bigger reward. They got lucky. And incidentally, these were the test subjects who self-identified as lucky. Now, that really got me thinking, self-identify as lucky? Is there even such a thing? It really got me considering about success. We are told that hard work brings success. The formula is simple. You work harder, you receive more success. That's all. We're done here. But what about those who have extraordinary success? Something that is so great, it cannot be explained by hard work alone. What about those? And I started reflecting on my own life. Now, I started from a pretty ordinary place. I studied biology and chemistry. Why did I do that? Because I was told that STEM is the place to go. You study hard, you get to university, you get that job, you're set for life. Relax, it's great. But what happened was this. I went to the university, I studied biology and chemistry, I did life sciences. And along the way, things derailed, and I decided I wanted to do game design. One thing led to another. I developed an interest in entrepreneurship, wrote a book, and I'm here, talking on this stage. Okay. Some people said, oh wow, you're so lucky. I thought about it and I said, yeah, I do think I agree. But let me tell you people, the truth is, I was horrified. And I will tell you why. Now, I'm the type that likes formulas, predictable things. I like results to happen just as I anticipate them. There's a sense of control, I love that. But then what happened here is that a derailment, and the results that came were arguably better than what I originally expected. This got me thinking a bit more about the matter of luck, self-identification as lucky, and life. This is where I'm going to put my system designer hat on. So, in the video game industry, we system designers take all these fluffy creative ideas and we package them into neat logical boxes and we start building them up over and over again until we ultimately get this product that you understand as a video game. And within this, there are multiple parameters, things that we set in order to give you that specific experience in a game. But now I'm thinking, what if such parameters existed in life? Could we control some aspects of life? In fact, on the matter of luck, were there such parameters that perhaps affected luck? And it turns out, yes, there are. And I'll talk about two of them right now. One of them is randomness, and the other is probability. And to explain that, I would encourage you to perhaps visualize with me. I have with me this glass of expensive, exquisite, delicious wine. Love it. I'm going to put it right here at the edge of the table. So as I was saying, okay, well, unfortunately with a single gesture, I have just knocked it onto the floor. It is now broken, a mess. I definitely don't get to enjoy my wine, and it's really unlucky. So let's turn back time. Instead of putting it at the edge of the table, this time, let's put it more towards the middle. Now, just now when I put it down there, some of you were probably uneasy at the thought that, yeah, of course that would happen. So now, what just happened? We have controlled probability. We have moved the wine glass towards the middle of the table. It is now less likely to be knocked over, to be spilled, broken, and in fact, now I would be able to enjoy it, most probably, and have a great evening. Except, whoosh! Oh my word, what was that? A car just came crashing through the window, smashed the table, and the glass, everything's broken. My relaxing evening is ruined. Oh dear, truth be told, that was extremely random. And the good news is this: we don't have control over randomness. So let's not worry too much about that. We should worry about the stuff that we do have control over, and that is probability. So now the question is this: can we control probability in life? What would it be like to be able to change the odds around our lives to basically become luck hackers? Of course, let's be grounded. Is this even a thing? So let's see if people have become successful in life. Yes. People have become extraordinarily successful. Yes, those people exist, but that's insufficient. What we want is to select for people who have taken active roles in changing their lives. They are people who have come from unconventional backgrounds. They have taken specific steps to change what's going on, and ultimately, they didn't just change their own lives. They changed the lives of those around them. And today, I'm pleased to introduce 3 of those people, some of whom you probably know the names of. One of them did this through intellectual pursuits. Another did this through physical development. And yet another did this through financial means. You could think of these as perhaps the professional gamers of life. They really know what's up. So, we have here people who have gone through a 3-step process, knowingly or unknowingly, to overhaul their odds at life. And I'll talk about those 3 steps right now. First, the first principle is luck favors the prepared. You all have heard this one before. Ultimately, it's just hard work. So the harder you work, the better your chance of getting lucky tends to be. Curie, as a scientist, was of course studying really hard, building up that body of knowledge and research that she'll be using later on in life. We have Schwarzenegger, who was pumping iron. He was just building up that body in preparation for taking part in competitions. And we have Desai, who was starting from humble beginnings together with his family, and they were prepared to put in that hard work and the business acumen to get something going and improve their lives. But second is what really changed things. It took them from the lay of the ordinary into the realm of the extraordinary. That is, you want to take your chances. At some point, after all that hard work, a chance is going to open up. And these people, they took the deal. Curie moved from her life in troubled Poland over to Paris, where she had new compatriots, new ideas, and new opportunities for research and scientific breakthroughs. We have Schwarzenegger, who wasn't just pumping iron privately. No, he was getting out there to competitions, but ultimately what he wanted is he wanted to win that trophy, Mr. Olympia in the United States. But people, pause a bit to think. This is an Austrian kid who barely spoke English. How improbable would that be? That is truly a chance right there. And Desai, with the family, they were in pretty humble beginnings over in Gujarat, but they packed up and they moved to the United States, where they would set up a motel business. But third, and most importantly, is what really got them on that rocket ship up into the stratosphere. The third principle is you want to think really, really big, but you're going to start small. And you're going to lean into that edge. You're going to be building this over and over again up until you achieve that high goal. Curie was just working together with her compatriots. She was doing the research and getting all those scientific breakthroughs, just building on knowledge of those who came before and fresh ideas. Schwarzenegger was going around the region, just winning competition after competition and learning from every mentor he could come across. And Desai, their family was working hard together in that motel, just reinvesting and building that thing up. But people at this point, some of you might be saying, okay, look, gamers, what about that? Life is serious. You don't get second chances. But I would advise that perhaps you want to consider this. If you look at a trophy, an esports trophy up there, and you're a professional gamer who's been training day in, day out, and just getting ready, one day you look at a trophy and you say, oh, yeah, that's a nice trophy. I'm going to try to get it, but if I don't, it's all right. I'll try again another time. Nobody says that this is a true competition. They're in it to win it. And of course, they want that for themselves. And of course, the three wonderful people have done exactly that. Curie didn't just break through the sexism of her time. She went on to win those 2 Nobel Prizes. How wonderful is that? We have Schwarzenegger, who didn't just get Mr. Olympia. He got that trophy again and again and again, and ultimately went on to revolutionize the film industry and became the governor of California. I can tell you, that's really not bad for an Austrian kid. And then we've got Desai and family. They didn't just build up a successful motel business for themselves. That would have been pretty good already. But they were reinvesting over and over again to the Gujaratis who were relocating to the United States. They were all building up their own motel businesses. And as part of the Gujarati diaspora that moved to the United States, to this day, just about half of the hoteliers across the entire United States are Gujarati. Now, that is truly extraordinary. So people, I would encourage you to reflect a bit on life, perhaps on your own life. If things are not going the way that you expect, you should change your environment. And if you feel that you cannot change your environment, you must change your environment. Ultimately, we want to control the probabilities in our lives and perhaps become luck hackers. And the process is really quite simple. Let's recap the 3 steps that we just talked about. The first is luck favors the prepared. You cannot just do this without hard work. I'm sorry, there's no other way. Work hard, get ready for this, because step 2 is going to come. At some point, an opportunity is going to come. You're going to look at it and you're going to say yes, because you have to take that deal. That's what takes you out of the zone of the ordinary. But follow through is what makes all of the difference. Part 3, you want to think really, really big, but you're going to start small. And you're going to lean into the edge. You're going to build it, compound those gains of yours. Ultimately, remember this. Einstein said before that compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. And I say, you definitely want that on your side. So, I would tell you that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But today, I ask you if you take a step towards becoming a luck hacker. So my question to you all is this: would you move your wine glass today? Thank you.